Is your cash flow and your day-to-day finances, is it setting you up to capture opportunities, or are you potentially missing opportunities because you don't have the structure to your financial foundation? I'm going to tell you the opportunities you want to take advantage of so you can build the right foundation in your financial life. I've got that and more coming up. Your financial life is far more interconnected, interrelated than you can realize. Most people don't realize there are 6 areas to their financial life. And if they do, they think they're separate and distinct because we get commercials about insurance and we hear about LegalZoom and, doing your taxes online, TurboTax, that sort of stuff. And no one is really at the helm seeing how all of those different pieces actually connect together so that you can make decisions that bring synergy and improvement and enhancement to all of those. One example, I say it's a kind of football analogy. It's the blocking and tackling of your financial life. If you just picture football for a second, what's more exciting? The blocking and tackling within the trenches or the Hail Mary, the long pass, right? No. We just want long passes. I know, but if you don't have the right blocking, if you don't have the right schemes, like in the trenches right there, those long plays are never going to happen. And the same is true in your finances. As boring as it is to think about, your balance sheet and your income statement play a far bigger role in you building wealth and doing those exciting things than you can realize. And I don't want you to miss out on these opportunities. As you get closer and closer to retirement, truth is the opportunities I'm going to share right now, you can take advantage of, at various times in your financial life, but certainly as it gets to crunch time, as you're getting to the end of your career, nearing retirement, I want you to capture opportunities, not miss out on them, because capturing these opportunities can help you avoid taxes or significantly reduce the amount of taxes that you pay in your lifetime, set your kids up for financial success decades from now, or allow you to transition assets to that next generation with ease and less tax. So make sure that you're working with your CFP to have the right approach to your present financial position. That's what we call it. That's sort of geek speak to making sure you've got the right structure to your balance sheet and the right structure to your cash flow and your income statement so that you can capture these opportunities later on in your career. First one is taking advantage of catch-up contributions. That's right, at the year you turn age 50, you can now contribute even more into your 401k. The problem is you've got to have the cash flow to be able to do this. This is a huge opportunity to help you save up more for retirement, helping that goal become even, more confident, or maybe having you get there early. The issue is you can't contribute this catch-up if you don't have the resources, or the resources are going somewhere else. Also, catch-up helps save you on taxes, whether it's today or out there in the future. But again, if you don't have the right financial foundation, you're not going to take advantage of catch-up contributions, and you're not going to realize these benefits on, your retirement plan and your tax planning. Catch-up contributions have changed recently, but you may know for your 401k, your 403b, those sorts of things, that the year you turn age 50, you can do the normal contribution. You can do that full amount, $24,500 in here in 2026, but you can also begin to do a catch-up contribution, and that's $8,000. That has been increasing over time. It increased again for 2026. $8,000 is the catch-up amount that you can do to your 401k, your 403b. And that's not a rounding error, right? That's not easily found in the normal person's cash flow and budget. You've got to plan for that. And so having an awareness, even if you're listening to this in the midpoint of your career or earlier in your career, you don't want to be in a position where when you turn 50, you say, I wish I could, but I can't because I don't have the cash flow for this. When you reach age 60, 61, 62, and 63, you may know that you now have a super catch-up, right? Not just a normal catch-up, a super catch-up. So instead of doing 8,000, you can do an extra 11,250. Again, not a rounding error, that's almost $1,000 a month. For your Roth IRA, for your IRA, that catch-up has changed recently as well. This is maybe closer to a rounding error depending on your financial situation. That catch-up amount is $1,100, and you want to make sure that you're able to contribute as much as possible into these tax shelters. So again, you save up even more for retirement, making that goal even more confident, but also because it saves you and improves your tax picture. Second, and if there was one where you said, Mike, what's one opportunity? What's the biggest opportunity that you think people miss out on because their cash flow setup in their present financial position isn't as dialed in as it should be? It's shoeboxing their HSA. So HSA, health savings account, you're only eligible to contribute to a health savings account if you have an HSA eligible high deductible health plan. But say that you do, most people play the hokey pokey. They put the money in their HSA and they get that tax deduction. And then when a medical expense comes up, they pull that money back out and they use it in their cash flow. Makes a lot of sense. However, this is good. It's not great. Great is contributing money to the HSA. And then when a medical expense, qualified medical expense comes up, so out-of-pocket expense or a prescription or something like that, you pay out of pocket. You don't pull the money out of your HSA. You might say, well, that's crazy. It's a qualified withdrawal. I can pull the money out tax-free. Why wouldn't I do it? Because you then hold on to your receipt. You invest your HSA. So, whatever the amount is today, it grows. And yes, it's going to go up and down if you invest it. But if you do this over time, 5 years, 10 years, decades, that HSA will grow to be an even higher amount because of that compound growth. And then out there in retirement, you say, hey, I've got all these receipts, and you withdraw. You're right. Your shoebox is full of these receipts. You withdraw from your HSA a tax-free reimbursement for all of those eligible expenses that you incurred throughout the year from a much larger HSA, optimizing the tax avoidance, true tax avoidance that the HSA offers, because pre-tax in, tax sheltered throughout the time that you hold it, and then tax-free on the way out. Shoeboxing your HSA, make sure that your balance sheet is cleaned up, your cash flow is cleaned up, so that when your financial planner, or maybe you're listening to this right now, that's saying, hey, listen, don't use your HSA for expenses today. That doesn't sound like such a crazy idea, and you can capture this opportunity. And then the final opportunity I don't want you to miss, if it makes sense for you, and we still don't know all the rules with this, but this is brand new, the 530A account, not the 529, the 530, and not just the 530, the 530A account. This is an account that you can contribute to up to $5,000 per child. Child needs to be, younger than 18. So it could be grandchild, could be someone else. They got to be younger than 18. When you invest in this, contribute, you don't get a tax benefit today. And so therefore you might say, why would I do this? That's what I thought when I first heard about these. Yeah, the investment growth is compound and tax sheltered, but you don't have a lot of investment choices. And when you draw the money out, you're going to have to pay tax at that time. However, and we're waiting on the IRS to actually come out and kind of confirm these rules, but it's suggested that at age 18 for this child, these accounts, 530A accounts, become IRAs for that child. And so essentially throughout their childhood, you are beginning to pre-fund their retirement. And again, you might say, why would I do that? I am struggling. I need to save up my own. And that's the point. Right? Don't you want to have your blocking and tackling all set so that you can throw that Hail Mary and set your kids up for a head start financially by saving up for their retirement while they're still kids? And again, you might say, yeah, but that's, they're going to have to pay tax on all that growth. Well, they could start doing Roth conversions. Again, we're waiting on the rules to see all this, but this is an enormous opportunity. It could be an enormous opportunity, not because of $5,000, but because of $5,000 a year invested over decades, multiple decades for their retirement. I want you to capture this opportunity if it makes sense for your situation. Maybe the point with all this is just to know that these opportunities exist. These are just 3 of them. There's countless others. That these opportunities exist, and therefore practicing your blocking and tackling, making sure that you work on that financial foundation so that your balance sheet is clean and that your cash flow is manageable, so that as opportunities come up for you to make great wealth building decisions, you can take advantage of them. Work with your certified financial planner on that. Whether it's these 3 ideas and opportunities or there are others, work with your CFP. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.